Joining me live now is Sky News US politics analyst, former Australian ambassador to the United States, Joe Hockey. Joe, we spoke yesterday ahead of the count. You thought that there were going to be many more of those so-called shy Trump voters. What a prediction. He's won with such a big win. It looks like a clean sweep with the House and the Senate as well. As you reflect on it now, looking at these numbers, what was the key to this decisive victory for Trump?
Well, Kieran, the key was that Donald Trump focused on policy that people wanted. He focused on lower taxes, getting prices down, protecting the borders of the United States, keeping the US out of war, opening up energy supply through more fracking. He actually had policies that resonated with communities right across the United States. And of course, the only policy that Kamala Harris had at the end of the day was, I'm not Donald Trump. And that was not enough to turn voters to her. And it certainly was not enough to turn voters away from Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, wow, unbelievable. And the turnout for Harris was just nowhere near it needed to be. In fact, 10 million less than what Joe Biden achieved. It's a massive shortfall.
Well, you're absolutely right. This is the point. There were some extraordinary numbers that came out of this election that people did not foresee. I think I spoke with you about the fact that Donald Trump won a majority of white women over Hillary Clinton in 2016 and over Joe Biden in 2020. The Harris campaign was saying, no, they're coming to us this time because of abortion. Well, in fact, those white women still voted a majority for Donald Trump over Kamala Harris. And in fact, Donald Trump got a swing to him with Black Americans, with Asian Americans. He even won a majority of all the young people under the age of 30 voting in places like Michigan. So it was across the board, and it was emphatic. Yeah. And it was directly related to the fact that he was talking about issues, about policies that mattered to the American people, and Harris wasn't.
What's your advice to the Australian government? You're someone who has been in this position. You're in a very rare place where you were there. You were the one that had to lead our response to the first Trump administration. You did so very effectively. Many people have said that of your performance, maybe just throwing a few golf games along the way, but that's fine in the national interest, isn't it? What's your advice to Kevin Rudd and the Australian government?
Well, in the first place, every government must be focused on the things that matter to the wider community. Stop getting distracted by a range of different policy issues that are not immediately relevant to the cost of living challenges, whether they be in Australia, the United States, the United Kingdom, or any other country where an incumbent government has been thrown out. The second thing is, don't buy all the spin about Donald Trump. This is a constant failure. And one of the big spins that really annoyed me in one of today's Australian newspapers was a suggestion that somehow democracy failed the United States with the election of Donald Trump this time. Donald Trump was elected in 2016. He was thrown out in 2020. He was re-elected in 2024. That is democracy. That is democracy at work. It doesn't happen in Russia with Vladimir Putin or China with Xi Jinping. It doesn't happen in many other countries. The fact that the American people were able to kick him out and bring him back in with an overwhelming majority, 2 million votes, 2 million more votes than Kamala Harris, says a lot about how America's democracy really is working.
Can Kevin Rudd stay on as ambassador? Will he be effective if he can't talk to the president or have any sort of connection to the president?
Well, I've been asked this question 1,000 times, and I give the same response. Australia chooses its ambassador to the United States. It's a matter for the Prime Minister. But at the same time, I know Kevin Rudd has been working hard, getting to know a range of people around Donald Trump well before the election yesterday. So I don't think Australia should just sack its ambassador under any circumstances unless there's a complete breakdown in the relationship. Now, I was really pleased to hear that Prime Minister Albanese has spoken directly to Donald Trump. That's good. That's a great start, actually. I hope the phone call went well, and certainly better than what Malcolm Turnbull had in his first interaction with Donald Trump. But you've got to build on it. You've got to start to build on these relationships. And, I think it's going to be a long road. We can expect that Donald Trump will throw us, a few bullets. He'll make life difficult for us at times. He'll be challenging. But as long as we just recognise where he's coming from, which is putting America first, and we segue into helping America do its very best, then we can also benefit substantially from the relationship as we have before.